Hi there.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
What's your name, please?
My name is Faith, the registered nurse.
Okay, that's great. That's great. How long did it take you to do nursing?
It took me 3 years,
Okay.
then I had to add 2 years, 3
Yeah,
years again to be where I am.
that's amazing. I like that. I like that. And the way you are dressed today, you dress very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm asking you about cutting, like in circumcision in men and women. What do you think?
I'm aware of both cutting, but let me talk about the main cutting. It's actually a very good clinical procedure that is assisting men, especially when they are older, to prevent them from STIs. Those are sexually transmitted infections.
Okay, that's all right. How about when they have to cut when they're young, babies? What do you think?
Yeah, babies, it's good for them to cut
Yeah.
because also it's better when they are babies than
Okay.
when they're adults.
All right.
They grow up knowing they are clean and they prevent them from also fungal infection.
Okay, that's all right.
Yes.
Any other comments or anything else to say finally?
No, I'll encourage people, mothers, parents, to take their children, to take their boy child for cutting as early as possible.
All right, that's great. Hello and welcome to the channel. Uh, this channel is actually for relationships and other things as well. We talk about many other things, but today we talk about relationships. In the last video, I told you about in this series, I talked about cut or not cut. You remember that? You can go back into the video, my last videos, and then you can check what I meant by that. But today I'm going to elaborate on what I'm talking about. So this video is actually for educational purposes. So this might be a little bit like sensitive to you, but this is an educational video, so anyone can watch. And of course, we learn every day and we move on in life at the end of the day. So, cut or not cut, we're talking about the male genitals, sometimes the female genitals, when they have to cut, as I said, the front for whatever purposes. Now, when you look at it, this cutting started actually at the time of Abraham. That's the first thing which I record that Abraham and his generations had to have the front of their genitals cut for whatever purposes. But I'm not going to talk about Abraham now because I'm not going to go in deep into the initial part of it. I'm just talking about the general views of what people think. So there are benefits or not non-benefits, whatever it might be. If you're cut or not cut, it doesn't matter. Whether I'm cut or I'm not cut, it doesn't really matter. What matters is let's learn together. So don't forget to subscribe and like and share the channel. Now, when you talk about this, what I'm talking about is this. You see these two bananas? I can call them two cassavas. As they call cassavas, the male genitals, they call it cassava. So when you hear me talk about cassava, I'm talking about that. Others, they say, oh, I've got a big cassava. Others, they say, I've got a cassava. Whether small or big, it doesn't really matter. Now, let me say this very quickly. This is the one which has not been cut. The front is like that, but at the end of the day, there's still a hole in the front there where you have to pass out urine. Now the cut one looks similar to this. Still more the front, you still have to pass out urine. So what I'm saying is, male or female, we still have to pass out urine. That's a normal thing. So this is the uncut one, and this is a cut one. People have got different views about it, whatever it might be. Well, you have your own views, and if you have your own views, you can talk in the comments as well and let people know what you think and what you strongly believe. But in this video, I'm not talking about people to be brainwashed, because other people are brainwashed to believe this is true and this is not true. Just like in religions, when you talk about the Word of God, some people believe in certain things, are brainwashed by their churches to believe certain things only. I talk about that in this channel anyway. Now, in this case, I've got this. I want you to listen to this person here. he has his own issues about cut or not being cut. So I want you to listen to this very carefully and hear what Oswald Jimenez, he was actually cut or circumcised, if I can use that word, at 19. So let's have a listen.
What is up, guys? Today we're back with another video today, and as you saw by the title, we're going to be talking about circumcision and why I regret my decision. Now, I know this is a different kind of video than I usually do. I do mainly OCD and other types of stuff like that. This is something that I wanted to talk about and kind of share with people and kind of give my experience and my thoughts about circumcision after I went through it when I was 19 years old, and me being 24 right now and having 5 full years to completely recap and just take away everything that I've learned, what I've experienced to get into it. I was circumcised at 19 years old. Now, a little bit of backstory behind the decision to get circumcised. Now, I grew up uncircumcised, right? So I had my foreskin completely intact. I never really knew that circumcision was a thing. I just assumed that all men had the same type of penis, which was a fully uncircumcised penis with, like, you know, the foreskin completely attached. I thought everyone had that. But there was this one time where I was actually going to the bathroom and my dad happened to be in the bathroom as well. This was when I was like around 7 years old.
So this person here, he's talking about his experiences. You know, these are his experiences. Now, everybody has got different experiences. Now, here we're talking about, this is uncut and this is cut, for whatever reason. I've also heard a lot about these Ministry of Health officials or health officials. They encourage people to cut for whatever reason. Now, there's a problem. Somewhere there's a problem, because one man is supposed to have one wife. The health officials, they say, cutting actually prevents you from having infections. An infection like when you talk about HIV or any other sexually transmitted infection. Now, if you're cut, the likelihood is very low. That's what they say. But then, if you're not cut, you say the likelihood of getting infection is high. But then, think about this. If you're married to one woman, why should you worry about that, getting an infection? You only sleep with one woman. So there's no need for you to worry about such. Because unless that cutting, it actually encourages you to be going around meeting that woman and that woman and that woman at the end of the day. So maybe cutting can also encourage what you call promiscuity, you know. That's what I'm thinking at the end of the day. So we learn and we move forward every day. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is in places like certain places of the world and certain types of religions, they cut. Like the Muslims, they say you cut. They learned from Abraham, who is, like they say, their father. But if you look at Abraham, I'm not going to look into Abraham as it is, because I'm not going to go into detail about it. But Abraham was the father of the nations, as we always say. Now, when you look at that, Abraham actually, his wife Zipporah, I think you can get that in the book of Genesis. He actually was unhappy with Abraham, and he has circumcised his child, and then he threw the foreskin to him, and he called him, "You are a bloody husband." So when you look at that, it's like somebody's not happy. And going back now to creation, I also talk about religion in this video and in this channel. So when you talk about religion as well, the first person to be created was Adam. Of course, his wife Eve, if you believe in that story. If you don't believe in the story, it's up to you. You cannot be forced. But that's what I believe. Adam was the first person. So when God created Adam, he was definitely not circumcised. He was created full. He was created with everything and nothing peeled back. And that's what I know, because circumcision only came afterwards. So from the time of Adam to Abraham, all in between, they were not circumcised, if I can use that word. Yes. So end of the day, also, let me say this. Adam was able to have sex, I'll use that word, with his wife Eve. That's why they had children. And the way God created, He says everything is good. That's what God said. So even God, He created something which is uncut. So He saw it to be good. So it's something which is good. So you cannot say it wasn't good. Circumcision only came afterwards. Now, when you look at it, if everything was good, definitely it was good. Now, when you have, if I can use this word, sex with your wife, what happens is this. You enter in, enter. It's like that. But when you enter, the front part, or what you call the foreskin, pulls back, and this thing goes in. And of course, that's where fertilization happens and everything else, and that's where we are born. We were born through that. So it's nothing, we can be ashamed of. Everybody does it, and of course, but it got to be done in the right way. So what happens is that when you go down on your wife, so to say, that thing is like that. But then as you go in, it pulls back, and only the front part actually goes in. So when you look at it, health-wise, it's good, because maybe the penis sometimes can be dirty in the front, but it doesn't want to take all the dirt to go in. Otherwise, you're going to mess up, and there will be infections inside the woman. But then where fertilization happens is going to be a clean place. That's why when you go in, it's going to peel out and go in. When you've done the business and then you pull out, then it closes again. It still remains like that. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. And the next time you do it, it does again. And then when you go in, it peels back. So that one is the one which peels backwards up to somewhere there. But you cannot see it because it's inside. So because it's inside, you cannot see it. But it's good, because when you pull back, then it's like that. So even those who are not circumcised, they are somehow circumcised, because the front, like that one, still goes in and does the job. And then when you go back, it goes back. But when you're circumcised like this, as an example, if this is your cassava, when you go in, you really go in, that's fine. But when you go out, it still remains like that. It's always open permanently. That's what it means. Now, when it's open permanently, it means that it's going to rub against your trousers, your clothes, or whatever. And it's going to rub all the way through. Basically, it's a thing which is a permanent thing. And now, are you still listening? Don't forget to subscribe and like and share. This is quite an intense topic, but it's just a good topic we always learn. The front part of the penis, just like the front part of a woman, which is the clitoris, or the front part of it, they are sensitive, very, very, very sensitive. They have nerve endings. So the front part of the penis has got thousands of nerve endings. So when it's cut off permanently, you lose that sensitivity. So you're going to watch also in the video, which I'm going to play, you're going to hear what it is. You lose sensitivity. So when you lose sensitivity, your pleasure goes down because of that reason. So because of that reason, that's why when you are cut, you lose sensitivity, because that, it rubs against your skin, the clothes, and it becomes harder. It becomes like a scar. And because it's like a scar, it loses sensitivity. That's why, end of the day, maybe you might not even ejaculate early, because your sensitivity is actually gone. One of the people in this video, they say they lost their sensitivity up to 90%. 90% is quite a lot, you know what I'm saying? 80 to 9% is quite a lot. So the benefits of being cut, they're there, and of course the non-benefits, whatever it might be. Now, I want you to listen to this second clip, or second video, so to say. Let me just find it here. It's in the sun, so the reflection is quite bad. Right, don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and of course, don't forget to share and tell us what you think about cutting or not cutting. And at the same time, we live in this world, we learn. So as we learn, we share. And as we share, we grow. And that's very important. So, let's listen to the second of the clips which I actually prepared for you. Let me see where it is now. Somewhere here. Okay, this is the second clip which I want you to listen to. And of course, tell me what you think.
I got circumcised 3 years ago. I'm 31 years old. I got circumcised when I was 28. And since then, many things happened. And I want to share my overall experience. If you are circumcised and you're frustrated because you lost most of your sensitivity, or if you're uncircumcised and considering get circumcised. Okay? Now, let me get this question out of the way, because a lot of people ask me that. Do I regret getting circumcised? The answer is yes. Okay? The reason I regret getting circumcised is because I lost most of the sensitivity. I'm talking like 90% of the sensitivity was lost. Okay? So if you're uncircumcised, you probably know that touching the head of your penis or when it rubs against your underwear, it feels very uncomfortable. It's very sensitive. And this sensitivity is what leads to pleasure during sexual intercourse. Now, this sensitivity will be...
Okay, so you heard that part. Somebody who was circumcised at a certain age. And children sometimes they're circumcised at a very young age. Now, most of the circumcision actually happens at birth. So a child doesn't have any say about it. The parents are deciding for him. And some of them, they regret. They say, oh, why did I even do that? And there's a mother, I'm going to put a video on the description here, who actually regretted it. She didn't know much. She didn't research what circumcision really meant. And she took her newborn baby and gave her to the doctor. And they cut the child, and the child changed completely. So some of these things you have to research. You have to find out what really is important and what really happens. Otherwise, you regret the rest of your life. So people sometimes get circumcised late. They actually they regret the rest of their life. Some of them are in other videos as well. They talk about to bring back the foreskin. The foreskin is, as I said, that skin there, which is very sensitive in the front of the penis, As I go on, let me also talk about female circumcision, which is not really circumcision. They actually, what should I say to use the right word? They actually cut off part of the clitoris. And the clitoris is the pleasurable thing in sex. So when you cut it off, basically, just like you cut off the foreskin, you lose sensitivity and you don't enjoy life as it's supposed to be. So these cuttings is like you're amputating an arm, somebody's arm at birth. It's like, really? Why are you doing that for? It's not important and it's not necessary. You have to have consent from the parents. And of course, mostly if it's consent from the owner, then that's even much, much better. So that's important. I've heard also, like in South Africa, there's circumcision which happens in initiation school. It happened like in South Africa, it happens in Mpumalanga and the Eastern Cape and other places in South Africa, not just South Africa, but other countries as well, But the sad thing I heard about, especially the one which happened in Mpumalanga in South Africa several years ago, there was a man who went for initiation and they sort of like, they were circumcising him and then there was an infection involved. And then, believe it or not, he lost his tool. He lost his cassava. And that guy was interviewed on radio, on TV, and he said, I've got nothing. So imagine, if he had stayed as he were, it would have been good for him. But then you're allowed to go to initiation school. There's nothing wrong in initiation schools because certain cultures that do certain things. I'm not saying there's anything wrong or anything not wrong at all. I'm just talking generally. This is a video for educational purposes. We learn every day. So that's very important. Whether you are circumcised or not, whether I'm circumcised or not, that's not what I'm talking about here. Whether you're circumcised because you're a Muslim or because you're Christian, because your culture allows it, That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm just talking about the benefits, what it is. When I talked about Adam definitely was like that. Because circumcision only came at the time of Abraham. So as I said, let me just emphasize this point. When you go on a woman, so to say, when you enter, you start like that. But then when you enter, when you push in like that, that part, it pulls back. It pulls back, and this goes in, you know. As it goes in, it does the business, and then it comes out. So basically, the inside of the woman is clean, and the outside also of the man is clean. After you've done the business, you just wash, and life goes on. That's what it is. Now, let me ask you very quickly here. Which animals have you seen in life where you live has been circumcised? Any animal at all. So when you look at it, it's only man who has been circumcised. Look at the dog. It's got like that. You don't see the outside part of it. Any other animals, really, when you look at it, you know, you don't see the outside part of it. That only appears when it's inside. And that's the way it was designed. So the initial design by God was excellent, 100% true, and that's what it is. So right now, there are people also who are brainwashed to believe, oh, a man who is not circumcised is no good, whatever. That is what you call, you're being brainwashed. You're told lies and you believe lies. There was a woman, I think I heard them talking. They said, in my culture, Eastern Cape of South Africa, they say that we don't marry an uncircumcised man. That's how they're brainwashed. Now, look at me. Well, look at this. Does a circumcised man have more love than the one who is not circumcised? I mean, you can have a circumcised man who is unfaithful. Unfortunately, that would happen. You'd rather have the best. So let us look at this other video, or rather this clip, of a certain person who was actually circumcised. You're gonna listen to it anyway yourself.
Hi, my name is Avon. I was circumcised at birth and I would like to reverse my circumcision.
This was on one of the documentaries, so that's why there's a song. And
The relief that I want to get is just to walk down the street comfortably.
it's uncomfortable. That's what it means.
Only did I discover in my late teens that there was something called foreskin. I'm a C1 cat, so that is the lowest circumcision level that you can go. The penis is very exposed and there's no skin covering the corona, which is around the penis head, or the area of skin that's just after the penis head. And with very limited skin, that would be the circumcision scar. My experience with being circumcised mixes PTSD and just genuine physical discomfort. It's a very uncomfortable poke or tingle down the skin, and you just feel that every single step you take. But when you be intimate, you just don't have that sensation. I am currently seeing someone at the moment, but being cut has brought a couple issues within the relationship. But that's just how much can be behind cutting up a bit of someone's organ without their consent. You don't see the psychological domino effect it might have on them.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
So when you look at it, when you're cut or not cut, when you're not cut, it's quite normal. Sometimes you might have what you call phimosis, whereby the foreskin is actually tight in the front of the penis, and it's difficult for you to pull back. Well, that can be corrected. You don't need to be circumcised for you to be corrected. But then when you're circumcised, it's a permanent thing. That's the whole thing about it. And there are people who are considering to put back that which was lost in the front there, in your cassava, you know. So when you have to pull back, or to put back what it is, they call it foreskin what's the name? The replacing of the foreskin. Foreskin is the front skin, you know what I'm saying? So that's very important. You know, people, if they want to regain whoever they were at birth, that's up to them. You know, you always have a choice. But if you have, or you're considering to be circumcised, you must have the full picture. Otherwise, you're going to regret it the whole life of yours. And the other thing as well is we have to be sure that people, there are myths about circumcision, and there are facts about circumcision. So before your child goes through it, and before you do it yourself, you have to have the facts right. Otherwise, you're gonna regret it the rest of your life, and that's not very good. Life is too short for you to live it regretting it. Now, somebody may ask, is sex better with a circumcised or non-circumcised? I had a friend of mine, her name Molly. She had a husband who was or is circumcised. I asked her, how does it feel? She had, of course, gone out with some other people before she got married to him. And she said, nah, it's the same whether circumcised or not. That's what she said. This is a woman who actually saying it, so it's not me. But for me, well, this is what I know, and this is what I want people to learn. They don't have to live in the darkness. They have to know the truth. And when you know the truth, then you have a life whereby you are knowledgeable. And of course, when you have knowledge, you have the light, and everything goes well. So, and also, circumcision at birth is a painful thing. A child, imagine maybe 8 days old, is being cut. That child is going to cry. He doesn't know what he's talking about, what is happening to his body. But at the end of the day, that's what it is. And as I said, female circumcision, which maybe I can call it circumcision or not, it's actually the cutting of the clitoris. Clitoris is the most sensitive as a sexual part. So if you cut that, it means you're reducing the sensitivity, and you never really enjoy sex, as it were, because sex was made to be enjoyed. Adam was made, and then God gave Adam a wife, Eve, and they connected. So also in the other videos which I made, I talk about the 5 things whereby you should not sleep with somebody's wife. And there's also another video, the 7 things